Now if our intention is to return static string like this, we don't need a powerful framework like MVC. So let's introduce a bit of dynamism in this example. So let me add another method within this controller. In this example, we'll greet a user by his name. This string over here, preceded by this $, is a string interpolation format and has been introduced in C#6. In the string interpolation format, we can specify the code or expression to be evaluated within curly braces. So let's call this method. Let's press Ctrl F5 for running the application in non-debug mode. Let's call the action. So we're using the controller name followed by the action name followed by a query string parameter after the question mark. And we're getting the expected string output over here. So as you can see, this name query string over here was bound to this name parameter when this action was called. This feature is known as model binding and we'll have a detailed discussion on it in the upcoming chapter. So we created a very simple controller which returns a string. Let's now bring model into picture. Now the model represents or encapsulates both the data as well as the business logic. We'll put the model which represents the data within the models folder and the model which represents the business logic within the services folder. So we already have this models and services folder. So let's move this terribly simple functionality within a service. I already went ahead and created that service. The artifacts I created are iGreetingService and greetingService. Let's check them out. So iGreetingService is a simple interface which has a getGreeting method which checks the name and returns a string. Let's see greetingService. GreetingService is an implementation of iGreetingService and we have moved this so-called business logic within the getGreeting method. Now within the greetings controller, I'll add an action for calling this service. So we're creating an instance of greetingService, assigning it to an instance of iGreetingService, and finally we call the getGreeting method. Right now, we ourselves are creating an instance of this greeting service, but later on, we'll use dependency injection for creating this service instance. Using dependency injection or DI leads to a loosely coupled application. The benefits will be obvious when we study testing. So as usual, for running this method, we have to use the base URL followed by the controller name minus the controller extension followed by the action name. So let's run the application, Ctrl F5. Let's call the action. And this time this output string is generated by the service. Now that we have brought model into the picture, let's now discuss the view. So up until now, we are just displaying strings. Now let's see an example for showing a HTML based view. So I'll add a new method over here. Now this greet method has a iActionResult type and it returns a view. Now by default convention, if we return a view without specifying the view name, then the name of the action method, which is greet over here, is considered as the name of the view. So let's create this view for the greet action method. So over here in the views folder, let's create a new folder. Let's name it as greetings, which is the name of the controller. And within the greetings folder, let's add a new item. Let's create an MVC page. Let's name this as greet. So this is the greet view. Let me modify the content. I'm just adding a simple paragraph tag. So since we are just returning a view, the action name is assumed to be the name of the view. And this greet view will be searched within the views folder within the greetings folder. So within the views folder, within the controller named folder minus the controller extension and the name of the view. So let's check this out, Ctrl F5. So let's call greeting/greet. And here's the paragraph tag which comes from the view. But wait a minute, how exactly are these other elements coming in the page? Now these elements are part of the layout page which is defined in the shared folder. So within the views folder, within shared, we have this layout file which defines those elements. There are some elements like headers and footers which are common across all the views. So instead of defining them within a view, we define the common elements in the layout file and our view uses that layout. We'll discuss layout in a later chapter. So conclusively, our greet method returns a view which displays static text.